There's an enormous amount of misinformation about the origins of the Thanksgiving holiday as we celebrate it today, including when, how, and why it became a tradition in the United States. Here's the real story. Hello and welcome to another episode of Endless Info. Historians say that they do know there was a feast in 1621, shared by the colonists and Indians. But the one historical account of the actual dinner says venison was served and some sort of fowl, but it doesn't specifically mention turkey. Pumpkin was available, but it's not likely the colonists whipped up a pie. Furthermore, sweet potato were unknown to the colonists and cranberries may have been served, but not as a relish. If you find this video entertaining, like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. The Pilgrims left Britain in search of religious freedom, but found it in Holland in the early 1600s, where they found a high degree of religious tolerance. The reason they wanted to come to the New World and establish a colony was to preserve their English identity and for economic reasons. If you think Americans have been celebrating Thanksgiving annually since 1621, guess again. Nobody at the time thought of it as the start of a new tradition, and there had been similar gatherings elsewhere earlier. Historians know there was another feast in colony in 1623, but it was held earlier in the year. Different colonies celebrated their own days of Thanksgiving during the year. In 1789, George Washington declared Thursday, November 26, a Thanksgiving holiday, but only for that year, and it wasn't connected to the Pilgrim Feast, but rather intended as a public thanksgiving and prayer, devoted to the service of that great and glorious being, who is the beneficent author of all the good that was, that is, or that will be. Poet and magazine editor named Joespha Hale read about the 1621 Feast of the Pilgrims and became obsessed with the idea of turning it into a national holiday. She published it in the Godey's Lady book recipes for turkey and stuffing and pumpkin pie, and started traditions that had nothing to do with the colonists. She began a lobbying campaign to persuade President Abraham Lincoln to make Thanksgiving an official annual holiday, using her magazine to build public support by writing an editorial every year, starting in 1846. She also sent letters to all governors in the United States and territories. In 1863, Lincoln did set Thanksgiving as an official holiday to be celebrated on the fourth Thursday of November every year. In 1939, President Franklin Roosevelt agreed to move the annual Thanksgiving holiday to the third Thursday of November to help the economy by making Christmas shopping season a little bit longer. There was so much opposition to the move that 2 years later, he changed it back to the fourth Thursday of every November yearly.